Welcome to The Explainer. If you're out there trying to navigate the wild, ever-shifting landscape of the digital creator economy, you have landed in exactly the right place. Today, we're breaking down a massive tectonic shift in how creator strategy operates. And more importantly, we are going to look really closely at what it actually means to achieve true independence in an era where platforms kind of want to control every single aspect of your business. All right, let's just dive right in. For years, there was something wonderfully old-fashioned about platforms like Patreon. The bargain was brilliantly simple. You did the grueling work out in the real world or across the internet. You played shows, you annoyed your friends, you begged the algorithm gods for mercy, and somehow you found people who actually cared about your art. Once you found them, Patreon simply gave those people a way to support you every month. In the early days, Patreon wasn't a giant billboard advertising you to the world. It was literally just a cash register sitting quietly near the back of the club. But as we're seeing, that fundamental bargain is changing, fast. So that brings us to Section 1, Patreon's big pivot, from monetization to discovery. Back on August 20, 2026, Patreon CEO Jack Conte unveiled a major product roadmap update, and it fundamentally altered their business model. The old Patreon was strictly about monetizing fans you already know, right? You brought the audience. But the new Patreon, it is a completely different beast. It increasingly wants to help you get discovered by people you've never even met. The goal is to pull them into free memberships in the app, deepen that relationship with content, and then eventually convert them over to paid. They are actively building their own internal discovery network. And get this. Patreon claims their new network is already delivering a staggering 1.5 million new free and paid memberships to creators every single month. They're reporting that creators using their new public posts are growing paid memberships 25 to 30% faster than those who aren't. Now, sure, these are company-reported numbers, but they highlight a really powerful reality. Built-in discovery systems are incredibly attractive. But of course, massive discovery comes with a catch. Let's get into Section 2, the danger of dependency and what happens when convenience becomes architecture. Look, if a single platform can help you get discovered, publish your work, host your videos, run your community, and collect your money, why in the world would you bother building anything outside of it? It's so tempting. So you really have to ask yourself, should real independent artists refuse to use discovery platforms out of some sense of DIY purity? Is artist independence just about hiding away in a digital bunker? The answer is a resounding no. Discovery is incredibly valuable. If TikTok introduces your music to 50,000 people or Patreon brings you a brand new monthly supporter, you celebrate that. Discovery isn't the enemy here. Confusing discovery with ownership, now that is the mistake. Which leads perfectly into Section 3, redefining true independence through a metaphorical pivot. The crucial point we need to grasp is that true independence today does not mean doing absolutely everything yourself. You don't need to hand code a website from scratch or press your own vinyl in a garage to be independent. True independence means maintaining enough structural control over your audience data and your income that no single outside company can erase your entire career with a random terms of service update. Think about it like this. Platforms are essentially just rented land. When you rely solely on YouTube, Spotify, or a new version of Patreon to hold your entire audience, you're building a gorgeous house on someone else's property. And when the tech bro landlord decides they have a perfectly reasonable business excuse to change the algorithm or hike their fees, well, you're still the one getting evicted. The true meaning of independence is making sure you own the house, no matter who happens to own the land around it. So how do we avoid getting evicted? Let's check out Section 4, the fan funnel, where discovery is really just the top. Here is the truth. Dashboards lie to us. 10,000 followers on an app absolutely does not mean 10,000 real relationships. Let's look at how the actual journey plays out. It always starts when a stranger hears a song or sees a post. Then, maybe they follow you. Step 3, they actually take action. They buy a ticket or grab a piece of merch. And finally, Step 4, they become a superfan. They support you repeatedly and they bring their friends along. Platform discovery is strictly Step 1. It's just the very tip top of the funnel. If you leave your fans on the platform, you never actually bring them deeper into that relationship. And going deep really matters financially. Let's talk about customer lifetime value, or CLV for short. It's a fundamental business concept. If a fan finds you on Patreon and chips in $10, that is awesome. But if you own that relationship off-platform, maybe next year they buy a $25 shirt, and the year after that, a $30 concert ticket, and they keep supporting you for 8 years, suddenly you aren't looking at a $10 transaction. You're looking at hundreds of dollars of value. But you can only achieve that if you have a portable, direct relationship with that person. Because if you don't own the relationship, you pay the platform tax, 30%. Let that sink in. That is the cut Apple takes for in-app purchases on iOS devices for apps like Patreon. Sure, Patreon's base platform fee might just be around 10%, but relying entirely on enclosed ecosystems means you are always subject to massive fees from tech giants who control the transaction. This right here is the very real cost of dependency. So, how on earth do we escape the toll booth? That brings us to Section 5, owning the house and building an artist-owned ecosystem. The trick is using platforms as mere doorways that lead straight into your own ecosystem. This means utilizing foundational infrastructure like the Making a Scene fan passport to build your independent core. We're talking about having your own consent-aware email and text messaging workflows, capturing fans directly through your website, or maybe by scanning a QR code at the merch table, managing your own shows and basic rewards, and most importantly, ensuring you can safely and legally export your own fan data whenever you want. You are capturing the relationship underneath the platform layer. And right at the center of this whole shebang is your website. Now, I know for years people have been saying websites are dead, it's all about social media. But let's be real, social media platforms rise and fall. An artist-owned website isn't trying to beat an algorithm. It has a much simpler, more important job. It needs to be your home. Think of it like the permanent address on your driver's license. The trendy nightclub where everyone meets up might change from year to year, but your home address needs to remain findable. Just look at the track record of rented land over time. Back in 2006, artists were spending hours perfecting the HTML on their MySpace pages. In 2016, the massive platform Vine was just discontinued. Poof, gone. In 2018, Facebook changed its newsfeed, literally wiping out organic reach for businesses overnight. And now here we are in 2026, and Patreon is pivoting into a discovery network. History absolutely proves that you cannot trust one platform to house your entire business forever. And this is getting way more urgent when we look at what's right around the corner. Discovery is getting scattered even further by AI. Take the July 2026 Talk to Spotify beta. Fans aren't even typing artist names anymore. They're using natural language prompts, literally just asking for a gritty, independent soul singer with live horns. AI-driven discovery means attention is going to come from completely unpredictable, invisible directions. Look, you are not going to own the AI recommendation engine. Good luck with that, right? But what you absolutely must do is make sure your metadata is rock solid, your genres, your credits, your moods, so the machine can actually find you in the first place. And when it does find you, that trail must lead back to your authoritative web presence. The source of discovery will constantly change, but the data underneath the artist must remain organized and lead directly to the house that you own. Which really brings us to the ultimate takeaway of this explainer. You can rent tools without renting your entire future. True independence is using every single legitimate doorway available to you. Let YouTube find a fan. Let Spotify introduce another. Use Patreon harder. Test out their new network. Try to scoop up those new free followers. But the very moment a fan wants a deeper connection, you give them a permission-based way to step off that rented land and walk right into your house. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on for your own digital strategy. Take a hard look at your setup right now. Are you strategically using platforms to build your own resilient, independent house? Or are you just renting their doorways and hoping they never change the locks? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep building your independence out there.